Hello, welcome back. I think I say it every episode, but I really appreciate everyone who's watching and keeping up. It means the world to me. So we are still playing our 1890 Japanese Rise of the Dragon campaign. I think I made a few adjustments to my audio again. Hopefully, it's just a little bit more louder, and if it's not, then I'll keep on making it a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more until it seems like it's where it needs to be for YouTube levels. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's continue on here. We're currently in 1911. We're sitting pretty, balanced on our monthly balance. We have a nice treasury, which means we could spend a few months in the red there to, get some stuff done. We're currently working on two of our Congo class battle cruisers. These things here, I mean, they're honestly better than our Aki class battleships, but at the same time, they're also going to end up being about 3 years or so newer with better technology. They're just, faster, bigger guns, worse armor, definitely worse armor, and worse secondaries. But the important part is that we are modernizing our fleet. We're working on getting kind of equal to whoever might want to fight us over here in Southeast Asia or even Northeast Asia. Northeast Asia, our biggest threat is Russia at this point, and they are currently at war with the United States. So that could turn out to be interesting. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll just like go full, you know, r- rock'em sock'em robot and just have like a big confrontation somewhere and sink of a bunch of each other's ships. Funny enough, the U.S. seems to be behind on the number of battleships that they have. They're pre-dreadnoughts, but their pre-dreadnoughts are 17 and basically 17 and a half thousand pound tons with 12-inch guns, and the Russians are smaller, like smaller on average, it seems. They're, a lot of those are newer models, like 1901 and onwards, compared to the U.S., which has, those are, the U.S. battleships, pre-dreadnoughts, they are newer and better, so it'd be pretty cool to see some battle results from that. Anyway, we're going to uh, see what we can do here. I was looking at our lighter than air naval aviation. Maybe if we might put up some like Zeppelin airship stations here just to help the research out. We're not really worried about airships. I'm not really a fan of that, but leave that to the Germans. Anyway, this is our chance to raise some tensions in exchange for budget. We don't really want to raise tensions with any one of these, but it's only one level of tension. So we'll just go with I guess Russia. Why not? Well, hang on. Let's before we do that, let's not be too foolish. The Germans are pretty good. The French also pretty good. Let's look at like an overall. I'd say the French are probably they're the nation we have the best chance at beating. So let's say it's France that's the troublemaker there. Although we want to check the relations real quick. They are allied with Britain, so we need to be careful about that. There's the airships. All right, here's the first battle. The U.S. lost a light cruiser, a destroyer, Russia lost a destroyer and one of their new battleships. So that's a good exchange so far. The more battleships that the US sinks for us, the less we have to worry about. So we'll build an airship base in Manila. That seems to be an area where there's a lot of basically I'm gonna build stuff like this in areas where we have like a lot of encounters. So we'll put one over here in Port Arthur as well. And that'll essentially take care of the need to have airships active to advance the technology, I think. If it's like just what submarines. Speaking of submarines, we're still stuck on these coastals. They're 64 reliability. We're building some of those now. We'll probably end up scrapping these 54 reliability ones once we get these new ones into action. We have pretty good destroyers here, so we don't have to worry about upgrading those for a while. They're 900 tons. We are currently, yeah, we're at 900 tons. Once we go to like 1100, we could consider building some new ones with double mounts for the torpedoes. But my next major project, I think, will have to be, well, maybe not heavy cruisers. I was going to say heavy cruisers, but maybe not because we're building battle cruisers. Only a couple of them, but they are filling that role. So I'm not sure what we'll build in the future next. We'll have to see. Our Corvettes are getting kind of old, so this maybe we should look at. I don't know. We have a lot of territory now. We need one, four. It says only four trade protection, but I feel like that's inaccurate. But we have four right there. We have 10, so we should probably be fine. We could always throw destroyers on there. So let's just modernize these. So we will replace their machinery. We'll upgrade their guns. We'll put some mines on there. We can't put mines on there. We can't put depth charge on there. Are these things fitted for colonial service? They are not. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, you know what? Let's just go ahead and design new ones and we'll make them colonial. So let's go ahead and do Corvette. 1, 2, 3. They got to be 1,500 tons. So there's colonial. There is minesweeping gear. We'll give them another turret. We'll make it a little bit bigger. And that's probably fine. We don't want to go too expensive with this. Uh, yeah, I mean, the armor doesn't really matter. These things, we're not fighting with these, so we could even get rid of the belt armor if it would save us a decent amount of money. 146 down to 133. Increase the speed. Doesn't cost us anything to increase the speed of that one time. So we'll make them 20 knots so they can maybe run away from stuff. We'll pick a name for them. I do like these maroon names, so we'll call this I don't know, what do we want to call it here? The, oops. Oh no, we just lost our design. Okay, I accidentally clicked on, I clicked on the program itself and downsized it. All right, sorry about that. So this was what, 20 knots with no armor. We made them 5-inch guns. We got rid of these little secondaries. We made it colonial and we gave it minesweeping gear. All right, so let's pick a name carefully. How about Kagimaru? That sounds kind of cool. So we will save that. And we'll make like, I don't know, 12 or 14 of those. Just make sure that we have enough to go around. So the Italians want to buy ship-designed secondary turrets. I mean, they are our ally right now. So you know what? Let us be friends. So an engagement. The U.S. lost a heavy cruiser, and that's it. That's in the northern Pacific. Some fighting going on up there. I was kind of expecting the U.S. to show up over here in Northeast Asia and just start trying to take it to the Russians. The U.S. is really spread out. I mean, they are a powerful nation in this game around this time, but they are very spread out. Okay. Oh boy, do we want to make another battle cruiser with a discount? You know what? I think we do. It's going to put us in a deficit. No, we're not blowing up the Great. We're not blowing up Great Britain's ships. Thank you. Okay. So we're gonna make let's do 6 of these the first time because we are running at a higher deficit now. This is a little bit unexpected, but I think we can afford it. We might get some uh, budget bonuses later on. So oil in Germany, essentially. There's some airship bases. This is the modern Spanish dreadnought. It's not looking, I mean, it really doesn't look very impressive. They are falling behind. So this is now compare this to whatever this battle cruiser looks like for Britain. Yeah, way different. It's like 6 knots faster. It's just better pretty much in every way except for the armor, probably. Let's diffuse the situation between Italy and France. We don't want to just jump into a war with France because, again, they're allied with Britain. Now, if it was just France versus, oh, nice. If it's just France versus like Italy and Japan, I would be willing to take that fight. There we go. It's a little bit more money. Um, we don't want to blame anyone, so we'll just raise tensions, unfortunately. Okay. We might need to try to jump into this war with Russia to get out of this tensions that are going up over here. We could build medium-range submarines, but that's not really what we want to do. Relations. So yeah, Russia isn't allied with anyone. So if we have to avoid war with Britain, we'll jump into a war with Russia. They don't have a whole, whoa, they do, actually I was gonna say they don't have a lot over here, but they have a lot, but it's all battleships for the most part. They have a lot over here. Okay. Well, yep, we know that your battle cruisers are great. All right, there's some increases with Russia. We'll take the offer on the Corvette. Let's get some more money because we'll claim we can't beat Spain or France yet. Okay. Bougainville was where? Was that down here? That is down there. Bougainville. All right, let's whip up the rest of our Corvettes while we can. Do 6 of those. And our monthly balance is now a little bit closer to being good. So there's our 1,100-ton displacement destroyers. I'm really tempted because relations with Russia are going up. Really tempted to just start a wave of destroyers, like 1,100-ton destroyers. Run at a deficit to do that. So let's go ahead and get that going. And if we can somehow manage to get these finished before war breaks out with Russia, those are double deletes and deletes. This looks like about the best we're going to get, which is, these are pretty good. 32 knots with a double torpedo swivels that have 2 tubes each, and a pair of 4-inch guns. They'll put in some work, and they take 14 months to build. We might be able to squeeze that in before a war starts. Although realistically, we're looking at like 17 months. Okay, we had a lot of tensions go down. Or I thought we did. So we'll build 4 of these to start with. Actually, we'll build 12 of these to start with. That'll put us in a deficit. What the heck? I thought our tension went down. Oh, it went down and then went back up. That's fine, though. If we go to war with Russia, we go to war with Russia. We'd prefer to do it while they're fighting with the US. And then hopefully Italy would jump in. And that would be like a 3 versus 1 war. We're the little guy here. We need to gang up when we can. Oh boy, this might do it right here. Yep, we are in danger. Hee I'm in danger. Okay, at least Russia has transferred out like, 6 or 6 or 8 of its battleships. They only have one modernized, like one modern actual dreadnought here, and then a bunch of destroyers. So let's carry on and see what happens. So the US lost a heavy cruiser, Russia lost a heavy cruiser and destroyer. Uh-oh. Tension with Russia goes up again. There it is. And we get the surprise attack. Yep. Let's do it. We have to hope for the best here. Hopefully our destroyers can make it with their fuel situation. Oh boy, look at that. This is going to be, this could be really good for us. Okay, let's go to full speed. We're going to go that way. We're going to go to, boy, this could be a really, really good surprise attack. We're going to send over to support. So the plan is, if we can, there may be more battleships here. So the plan is to put basically 2 torpedoes into each one from these 2. And then this guy here will put 1 more into each of them. So we'll have 3 torpedoes into each. And that should probably do it. Although we could always bring over 1 more destroyer to assure, because we don't know how many battleships are over there. There could be more in this line somewhere. All right, we're going to go that way. We're going to go this way. We're going to go this way. And we're going to go this way. All right, that's full speed. These don't have torpedoes. These are our gunboats. They're slow, 22 knots. We'll take our battleships in there as well. These are our OI class. We're just getting everything in there that we can, essentially. This old battleship, I mean, if this thing gets sunk, it gets sunk. Whatever. It has guns. Okay. Essentially just aiming for the harbor in there. And we're going to send these north to see if there's anything up in here, because you never know. And in fact, we had a battleship up here. Which one was this? We'll send that one up there as well. Okay, so that might be a really good target to hit. These destroyers should hopefully find a line of ships to go down. Yeah, there they are. All right, we're gonna go that way. We're gonna go that way, and that way. We want to make sure we have enough torpedoes to sink all of this stuff. All right, first torpedo away. Yep, yep, yep. We need to go like that. That'll cut back this way. Oops. Yep, there's some more battleships. So we're not even going to launch torpedoes at these destroyers. We're going to launch them at these battleships down here. Okay. We'll go like this. Go like that. We'll go like that. I wish you could like join all these together into a squadron. Okay. So let's fire the torpedoes at the first one there. Luckily, we have 3 torpedoes per destroyer. Cool. Our goal here is to do as much damage as we possibly can, because they're going to have us instantly blockaded. This is a lot to keep track of at one time. We're going to go down that way. We're going to cut across. There we go. Torpedo net. Fubuki still has a full load of torpedoes. We just want to make sure that every ship gets a torpedo into it. At least one. That way, if we don't sink them, we at least, put them out of action for a while. Give them the old Pearl Harbor. Alright, so this one is empty. So we're going to get it out of there. This one has all of its torpedoes. We're going to make a sharp turn. All right, this one's empty. Let's get it out of there. All right, let's put some torpedoes into some ships. That's a big target right there, that Lefort class. Okay. That's like a weird destroy. It says it's a destroyer, but look how big it is. And it's moored up alongside all of the battleships, so it might be a light cruiser actually. So we'll put one into it. Try to put a couple into it. Okay. Fire off a torpedo. Fire off some torpedoes. That's empty, empty. There we go. We'll aim for the ones in the back. We only have one torpedo left in this squadron. So we'll aim for the one in the back again. And we'll get those out of there. This thing here was, oh, it's not empty yet. All right, let's attack this over here. There. Right, hang on. That's not right. Right there. There we go. And nope. Right there. Again, we're just spreading out the love. Trying to do as much damage as we can. We have 2 torpedoes left. We're not going to be able to gun down all of these destroyers with our destroyers before they can wake up. If we had like a light cruiser or something that could go down that line and just open up on them, it would be devastating. But we don't. This is probably overkill. But we want to use up our torpedoes and then go home. All right, their ships are waking up because one of our destroyers has taken flotation damage. So it's been hit. Can we put more into that real battleship there? Okay, this one here. Not making it out of this attack, but maybe we can at least fire off some torpedoes with it before it goes. Okay, we're out of torpedoes, out of torpedoes, out of torpedoes. This thing here, I've been really struggling to get it to line up. Okay. We're really focusing on that Lefort class because it's, as we saw when we were looking at what ships they have over here, it was about the only modern battleship they had here. This thing has one torpedo left. I could go down here and try to use it. These are just about out of ammo. That one has two left in it, so I'm going to go ahead and fire these off now. Oh, it can't target anything for some reason. This is one torpedo left. So we'll fire into that one back there and get out. This thing here has one torpedo left, but it can't target anything for some reason. That has nothing left, so it's just going to try to get home, but it's really damaged. And the rest of our fleet is still hanging out on the way. I mean, I could bring them in and try to mop up what's left in here. All right, that thing's empty. Alrighty, let's fire off a torpedo if we can. I don't recall firing many into this Nikolai class, so we're just going to put a couple into it if we can. So the question is, what's actually shooting at us right now? This thing must have taken damage to its torpedo launchers, so let's go ahead and get it out of there. This thing has one torpedo left. Okay. So that turns out that, remember we saw this was a destroyer? Turns out that it's probably a light cruiser. Oh, this thing's empty. Yeah, we'll just fire one off back that way. That was the last torpedo from this squadron anyway. I mean, I'm still really tempted to keep putting torpedoes into those battleships, because you never know. And we'll put one more into the Imperator. I mean, our destroyers have put in a lot of work here. One torpedo left. I mean, this thing's still going full speed. It hasn't been damaged yet. Yeah, their destroyers are starting to wake up. All other ships are waking up. And that's it for this thing. The Sagari is out of torpedoes. It's kind of funny. Our main fleet is passing all these little destroyers as they come out of the harbor there. We're just going to make a nice channel for them to go down the middle so our main ships don't crash into anything by accident. But if we could get our cruisers in there and just start like mopping up the destroyers, that'd be kind of cool. Yep, I mean that's a guaranteed kill on a destroyer essentially. All right. The only torpedoes we have left are on our middle destroyer. So let's what can we shoot at? We can shoot at that thing. We can shoot at that thing. We're just using up our torpedoes. I feel like we've done enough. All right, we're bringing our Boro back around. It's got one torpedo left. We'll put it into that middle battleship just in case. And then we'll get it out of there because all these destroyers are waking up now. Sagiri's empty. This thing is empty. This thing here is empty. And all of these except one are empty. Yeah, I mean, now that we've done so much damage to their capitals, we can afford to put some torpedoes into something else. All right, that is all of our torpedoes expended on the destroyers. I'm shocked that there's still a battleship moving over here. We'll see if we can't put an end to that. I mean, I am legitimately shocked that there's still one of those moving. This little, poor little destroyer. Just get out, man, if you can. Oh boy, it's really flooded as well. Let's move, take it down to 6 knots and just see if we can't save it. Get out. Save yourself. Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, let's make him regret coming this way. We're going to turn our heavy cruisers south. To get towards all those destroyers and cruisers that are down there. Does this thing have torpedoes? It does. So we need to be careful that we don't get our actual battleships hit, like unlucky there. And we'll just use up our torpedoes. Oh, we've expended those ones on the left side. Okay, that's fine. Some of our cruisers are struggling with directions. All right, all these ones that have left port, what we'll do is we'll just put them on cruise and just start sending them vaguely in the direction of home. They can't reload anyway. haven't got the technology to reload their torpedoes. Turn away. Oh, this thing's taking a pounding. Okay, so we need to pay attention here and maneuver because these are our destroyer hunters. And if we can sink a bunch of destroyers in here without getting our ships torpedoed, which is a big if, that'll help us in the long war because a lot of times these wars seem to devolve into like, hey, here's a million little encounters with the enemy's small vessels. Okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this down here towards the destroyers. This will be really good at hunting down destroyers. They're just full of secondaries, 24-inch secondaries. Not 24-inch secondaries, but 24-inch secondaries. All right, let's try to sink that. It was the only battleship we actually saw move around. All right, then we'll swing back this way. We do need to be careful. We are in danger zone of torpedoes. Oh, we've used our right hand. Okay. Then we'll turn like this. This thing has to be sinking, right? No? All right, well, our port torpedoes are loaded again. This goes back down to cruise and get out of there. This goes down to cruise and get out of there. We just don't want anything to unnecessarily sink on the way home or run out of fuel or damage the engines going high speed. What is this thing? Is this thing flooded at all? A little bit. So we'll take it down to 6 knots as well. Basically, any of our destroyers that have taken flooding damage, we will slow down so that we don't have any bulkheads that suddenly break. All right, looking pretty good here. Swing our, yeah, we'll swing all these cruisers down here to start dealing with all these, uh, like little vessels. Okay. Yeah, we're just mopping up now. The whole purpose of this is to mop up, bringing all of our big ships in here. It's really not even necessary. In fact, let's not risk our important stuff. Let's start sending some of this out of here. It's just like really unnecessary. There's nothing that these battleships here are going, these pre-dreadnoughts are going to do that these light cruisers and heavy cruisers won't against destroyers and escorts and light cruisers. Yeah, we're just chasing. There we go. We kind of, I mean, we knew that was going to happen with at least one of our ships that we were going to get hit by a torpedo. But luckily, it was one of our old heavy cruisers. That thing is flooding fast, so we're going to lose it. But that's, you know, we're getting rid of these heavy cruisers eventually anyway. So we may as well trade them in for some of their destroyers. I think it's going to be real slow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the speed on this battleship group a little bit to let the others catch up. All right, we went up to normal or fast speed, I guess, because this doesn't require quite as much micromanagement anymore. Is it a fleet of cruisers? We would be happy to fight cruisers with our battleships. In fact, we'll send the Sagami back there as well. I mean, sometimes you just gotta take the shot and hope you hit. What's that quote? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, by Michael Scott. Sorry if I'm being a little bit quiet. I am concentrating more than usual. Tiny dragons don't have very big brains. It's sort of in the label there. Okay. I know we're getting well past 30 minutes, but this was a really important thing that we had to come in and spend a lot more extra time micromanaging. That can't be a battle cruiser, can it? No, I think that's just a heavy cruiser. This thing here is in real trouble. Okay. Probably going to lose a second heavy cruiser, but again, these are expendable. Our doctrine has pretty much always been that other than our battleships, which until now we haven't really had battleships that we could use, that everything is expendable. They are ammunition that we can fire off and do as much damage as we can. Because if you think about it, we are mainly a torpedo based navy. What other, warship type can inflict damage on a ship that, it far outclasses itself quickly and, potentially take out multiple ships that are bigger than itself? Like a battleship can fight a battleship, but it takes a while and it's going to take a lot of damage in the process. But a destroyer or a light cruiser or a heavy cruiser can fire off torpedoes and potentially do, uh, enough to sink like an entire battleship or multiple battleships. For the investment of a light cruiser or a destroyer, we're taking out an asset that takes, multiple years to build, and lots of money. And out of this too, the most important is the time. Like money comes and goes, but the time, uh, that's what wins wars is time essentially. Okay. Main gun crew cut down. I don't think I've ever seen that message before. It's kind of cool. And we're chasing here, but that's okay. Again, if we can take out heavy cruisers, that's always good for us. Heavy cruisers end up being the bane because they'll be out there raiding and they just really never go away. They never go away until you actually sink them, and that can be challenging, as we've seen throughout our various wars that we've had. That we've always struggled against decent heavy cruisers because that's something that we've lacked because we haven't had good uh, good heavy cruiser guns essentially, and we didn't have the tonnage initially to build heavy cruisers anyway. Can we put one more torpedo into this thing? We can't. Well, we'll do turn together. And now we can put a torpedo into it. We turn off, turn together. And we're just going to get out of here now. I think we've done as much as we can do really on the south side of these islands. Our battleships are taking care of these heavy cruisers. Ooh, okay. That's nice. We're going to turn these cruisers around and intercept this ship that's coming south. If it makes it that far. It won't. Okay. Never mind. So back to cruising mode. We're going to cruise mode. Go that way. Go that way. We'll get these cruisers out of here. And that's it. That is the end of the battle. There's nothing left. Just leave. Go home. We've done enough. I'm still waiting for these heavy cruisers to flood out finally. Although the flooding has stopped on that one. The flooding has stopped on that one. So we'll see. We will see what happens. We'll actually slow this cruiser group down, and it will act as an escort, like a rear guard. And those are our initial destroyers right here. They went in, did their job. The rest of the fleet followed them in, and hopefully they can get home with honor and safely. There we go. So, what did we manage to accomplish there? We didn't lose anything. We took heavy damage. We managed to get all of our ships out, even our destroyers. We sank a battleship, like a real dreadnought battleship. We sank 9 pre-dreadnoughts. We sank 5 heavy cruisers, 1 light cruiser, 18 of their destroyers, and some auxiliary ships that don't really matter. More importantly, they had 8 heavy cruisers here. We sank 5 of those. We sank the only light cruiser they had, and we sank or heavily damaged 20 out of 29 destroyers. We sank all of their capital ships. That is a gigantic win. We'll take it. We'll call it the Battle of Shanghai, or we'll call it the Shanghai Ambush. Look, if you wanted war with Japan, this is what you get. How do they look now? Oh boy. Yep, they have one dreadnought in service right now. We've sank half of their battleships. We sank, about a quarter of their cruisers, and they still have a billion destroyers, but whatever. We're going to save the game. I know we're running a lot really late here. I hope that you found that as fun as I did. That was I was pretty quiet there, but it was because I was really focused on sinking ships. It's always fun to just sink a ton of ships in one go, and we lost nothing. That's really, really, really big. And let's see here. Yep, we took them down from like 200 and some blockade power to 41. We could actually start invading their territory. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's do, I call this Huawei, but that can't be right. Oh, I want to set it as an invasion target. All right. Anyway, if you stuck through this one, I really appreciate it. This is a crazy series of events here. So we'll see you next time. And remember to sail safely, please.